If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. Today we are continuing with our vehicles project that we're working with in Laravel and Breeze. And we have set it up so that we have an index page, which is what I'm on right now. We have a show page where we can go to the individual vehicle. And then I want to set up an edit page so we can edit and update these vehicles. To do this, we are first going to set up an edit route. So we'll go to the web routes and then we'll do copy paste for the current routes that we have in here. And this will be get vehicles UUID/edit. And that will be the name of the function as well. Let's head over to the controller and we'll scroll down to that edit function. And again, this is just to show the form for a specific resource. So we can just do return view vehicles edit, and then we can also pass in the vehicle to say that that equals the vehicle. Now let's go ahead and create this edit page. We go down to the resources, views, vehicles. We can actually for now just copy this. We'll copy the create page. And then I'll just call it edit. Now, before we touch anything here, let's just go ahead and add that route in the index because we have that route listed here. So we can add that to this edit link. So need to pass in the vehicle UUID, and that should be good. Let's go and check out the new blade file. I'm just going to leave that for now, and I just want to make sure that we can actually just see the page. Okay, let's go ahead to this one here. And yes, we have been brought to vehicles UUID/edit. Why don't we go ahead to, say, the show blade, and then I'm going to copy this header from in here. Then let's just go ahead and uncomment this. Well, we'll need the multi-part form data, but for now I am going to just change this just so that we can see it. And the method also isn't going to be post, but we'll change that up in a bit. It looks like everything should pretty much still work the same. And we'll deal with the image. As a matter of fact, I'm going to comment this out so that we can deal with that individually. And let's see what we have now. Okay, well, that looks pretty good, but we should have our information in here and we'll deal with that in a moment. Since we have the vehicle name and stuff up here, we should be able to add it to the form. That'll be really easy. We already have old values here. So instead of old value, you can say old make or vehicle make. This should give us that first input. There it is. So I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to go ahead, do the rest of these, and then we'll deal with the image after. Okay, I have gone ahead and changed all of the things. And we have all of our information in. Very good. Now let's go ahead and work on this image. Go ahead and uncomment it. We have a xData property in here displaying the image, no image. So in here, we can use our attribute. So instead of this here, do this for vehicle, custom image. And that should register within this. There it is. We have our vehicle. Why don't we also work on the form and then we'll go to the controller and the route and add that route. We go up, the action will be the route of vehicles update. We're going to create it in a minute and we're going to use the vehicle UUID. Now the thing is, not only is this it's a post method, yes, but with Laravel, instead of just using post, it doesn't actually use a patch method. So we can go ahead and add it before the CSRF. Here is where we can specify that it will be the patch method. Let's go to the web route, add that, and this will be patch. We don't need the edit here. But here we can do up. We go to the controller. For now, I just want to see what it is that we're requesting. Just wrap this in a giant dump so that we can just see all the values, and then we'll go ahead and check the browser. change all the information. Go ahead and pick a new image. Okay, well, that was updated okay. Vehicle, and it's not working. Let's see if we're getting some kind of error. Doesn't look like we're getting an error, but it also didn't go through. I forgot to die and dump here. So let's try it again. This. So change up the information. Go ahead, add a new vehicle. Now we're getting the information that we are trying to put in. Great. The update information to do that is actually pretty much very similar to the creating of the vehicle. I'm just going to copy this one. Then here I'm going to go ahead and paste it in, and then we'll just change it accordingly. So this stuff is all the same. So if it has file, you can request file, but a couple of things are different. Things are different in the sense where we have an image, right? Because we're also dealing with storage. We go down to our storage folder, app, public, images. These are all the ones that I created and I never edited. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remigrate the database, and then I'm going to go ahead and delete these just so that we have no images of any vehicles in here. Because even if you remigrate, that does nothing to storage. So we'll do the whole thing from scratch, and then we'll create a vehicle so that we can see one in here, and then these are our defaults. We'll create an image just so that we can see one, and then we'll update it so that we can change it. Go to the register, create a new user, go to vehicles, create a vehicle, image. So we have our vehicle here. Go back to the index route, go to edit. Before we do that, I want to show you that here is now an image. So what's happening is when we're creating the image, pretend this is the store function. So we have an image, we're going to put it into the file, we're going to create the vehicle, and then we're going to return back with a success message. But what we want to do is remove this image from the database. Laravel, or actually PHP, gives us a really easy way to do that. So I'm going to come here, and I'm going to say, if the request file, because we have to have a check to make sure that this vehicle has an image, which they all should have images. If request image does not equal, or I should put file here. If request file image, the one that we're trying to change, does not equal the vehicle image. So if the request file image, the one that we are trying to update our vehicle image to, does not equal the one that's currently in the database, it's not currently in there, then we can create a variable. I'm going to call this one original image. I'm going to say that the public path is the storage images. Well, you can also do storage path, but it is what it is. This is just a way. So vehicle image. So this is going to be our variable. We're checking to see if this vehicle has an original image. If it does, then we want to take that new image. We're going to add that to a variable, and we'll do the same thing just like we did with create. But the difference is now we need to say if file exists. We need to check storage. So if file exists, that original image and the vehicle image does not equal the defaults no image.jpg. Now, why would this be in here? If we go to the vehicles database, you can see here that we have a default image. So no matter what we do with our images, if we don't have an image included, then it's going to automatically give it this default. So we need to check and make sure that whatever we have in storage does not equal that no image or that's associated with that vehicle. So we're checking if the original vehicle's image exists and the vehicle image does not equal this thing here. The reason we're doing this check is because if it is in here, then it will delete it from in here. And we don't want that to happen. That's why we need this check here. If that is the case, then we can just do at unlink public path storage images vehicle image. So again, if this vehicle has an image in storage and that vehicle image does not equal the no image, then we can unlink it. Unlink is just a fancy way of doing delete. So it will delete it from our storage. And then if that's all true, so now that we've deleted it, we've unlinked it, now we can add it. I know it seems a little bit complicated, but that's the gist. To run through it really quickly one more time from the top. If we're requesting an image, if the request that we're sending to the database through our form has an image, and if that image does not equal the image that's already in the database, then we'll create an original image variable where this is our original image. Then we're doing like we did with create, we're creating a file variable, a file name variable, and then we're also checking if it's in storage. And if it's not in storage, then we'll just continue on. If it is, then we're going to unlink that original image. It's going to delete it, and then we can go ahead and put our new image in there. We'll return back to vehicles.show with the vehicle UUID. Everything else is the same, but instead of has been updated, I'm going to say has been, or instead of saying created, I'm going to say updated. Let's try this. And I also want to make a button from the show page, but we'll do that in a bit. So I'll go ahead, change all the information, change the image, just really quick to show you that there's only one image in here, and that's this here. All right, we'll go ahead and change it to, let's change it to this one. Edit vehicle, then sent to our vehicle show. This is our vehicle. We have our success message here saying that it's been updated, and then we have all that other information in here. Now, I also want to add that link down here so that we can go to the edit page from the show page. Down to here. Vehicle UUID. Okay, so we should just be able to click that, and we are back on edit. Since we're using Alpine.js, there's a little bit of a bug in here. So if I click this edit, now we have undefined file name because we haven't changed anything. We actually haven't changed it here. Let's see what that's about. There are ways that we can do this, but for simplicity, I'm just going to say it's either a file name or it is the vehicle image. Try this again. Vehicle, I don't remember if it was changed or not, so we'll go to vehicles. It's like I have an extra one here. And if we look at the database, we only have 2 images in here. We'll go ahead, change the image first. Okay, so now it is the minivan. And we'll the index just where that's what it looks like. And we'll edit it. We won't edit the image. Okay, so it's the same image. We'll refresh. Same thing. We'll go to vehicles, index. And for some reason, we have now 2 vehicles. There's something going on with our code. If we refresh this, we should only have, see, 1 vehicle image, which is the van. Something also that I didn't realize is that I have 8 in here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put vehicle update. Maybe we can remove this. I'm going to go ahead and wipe out the database again. Then I'll come down here and remove the image just so that we don't get any gnarly errors. Vehicles, create a vehicle. Go ahead and try to change the image. Before we do that, I want to make sure that we only have the 1 image in our storage. Is this one. Different image. Now we'll do the van. So this is looking good so far. We refresh and it's still the minivan. It's like it's working. Now if we come here, that image has been closed, but if we go down to storage, see that our minivan is still here. Now if we go to edit and we don't pick a new image, we'll change everything else. We're still getting that. So here I will leave it as such with the vehicle image. Refresh it. It's still the same image of vehicles and make sure that it didn't create a new one. Try it again. Edit it. Still a minivan. Refresh. Back to vehicles. And good. Our image is still in here. Super. I'm leaving in all of these bugs and these errors and these little mistakes that I'm making just so you can see how I managed to edit and reconfigure. And sometimes you do need to refactor some things. But I also want to set it up so that we have a delete button in here somewhere. Well, not in our edit page, but I'm going to put it in our show page. Go to explore. We have a delete button right here. So let's go ahead and make that work. The thing we'll need is a route. I can close up some of these. Come here, paste the last one. And this function will be delete and call it destroy. And then we have the vehicle UUID. Go to the show page and we can add that here. In the form for the delete button, give it an action. And that action will also be a route. Vehicles destroy. And then we also need to tell it which vehicle. Then of course we need a CSRF on here. And we also need a method, which for us will be delete. Button type will be submit, and that looks good. So let's go to the destroy function, and then destroy is really an easy function. There are a couple of things to consider when deleting a vehicle. One is that we can actually delete the vehicle. And that's all it is, vehicle delete. Route model binding will tell it which vehicle we want to delete, and this function is just going to delete it. But we also have an image. And we don't want to leave that image in there when we delete a vehicle. We want everything to be gone. What we can do is something, I'm just going to copy this just so that we can have a little bit of a beginning. So something we need is the original image, and the original image is in the storage file. That's what this is here. We won't need this because we're not changing it, but the little method that we have for deleting an image from storage is this right here. If it exists and it's not default /no image, then unlink it, basically delete it, and then from the database, we'll go ahead and delete it. After that, I want it to return to route. Just bring it to vehicles index. And we'll do with success. Vehicle has been deleted. Okay, let's go ahead and give that a try. Just in case, but we'll go ahead and delete it. And it looks like they're having a bit of a bug. That's not deleting like it's supposed to. Go to vehicles, it's still in here. So what's going on? Make sure that we have a route. Function names are correct. Destroy and destroy. Going on in here. I forgot to add the method in here, which will be post. Let's try this again. Down to delete. So we've been redirected back to the vehicle index. Vehicle has been deleted. We have our no vehicles here. If we refresh it, it's still the same, but without our success message. And if we go down to storage, we no longer have that image, so it's also been removed from there. Great. There are tweaks that I want to make, and one of them is this. If we create, yes, we can create, but if we, well, let me also add a vehicle. We create, we can keep creating this. And I actually want to make it so that that button is not clickable anymore. I want it to be disabled unless everything is filled out. And then I also want to make sure that it's disabled. It's not going to create anymore, but I want to make it so that these fields, if there's nothing in them, then this button isn't a clickable link. And we have Alpine.js where we can do something like that. So on this button, if you go to the create, go down to that button. I have a disabled opacity on here. What that's going to do is it's going to make the button have an opacity on it, so it's not a full blue button. But because we have Alpine.js, what we can also do is in here create a data so that we can initialize Alpine.js. Just going to have some curly brackets here. And then we can do all of the fields that are in the form. It actually sees. We'll do some backticks so that we can escape the HTML. We can here do old make. That will be the first one, and close this off. And then we can do the rest of them. So Alpine will have access to these. We go down to the button. Something that we can also do is, Alpine.js, that if it is disabled, and disabled, we want to make it so that it has no make length, meaning the letters in the make input, there's no length to it, or no model length, price length, and I'm just using the pipes for those symbols. Price here, image length. There's several different ways that you can do this, and you can experiment and try different things out. I'm just showing you what you can potentially do in these values. I mean, yes, we have them up here. We have them in the form, in the data property. But actually, what's going on here is that we have to have some kind of way of modeling what's in here. So in here, Alpine will to do something like that, where we do X model equals this one, that next input, model. Same thing for all of the other ones as well. The description, but this we can put it on the input. Let's try this. You can see the button it's got an opacity on it, and we can actually click it. We'll go ahead and fill in stuff, and it's still not filled in because we haven't put an image there. And there you go. Now we can do it. Go ahead and do the same thing for the edit as well. Copy this. And then in edit, we can go ahead and paste that in here. Now, instead of old make, what we can do is actually now use our vehicle. In here because we have a different function that we're working with, but we can also do the X model so that I don't have to keep typing them. Just grab the disabled from here. And then here we can remove it. Okay, good. It was only in that one spot. Right, since we have everything in here, this isn't empty, but if we go ahead and remove that, then it is. It works just fine. If you're enjoying the content, please go ahead and click that like button as it really does help out the channel. Here's a video YouTube thinks you'll like, and here's a playlist to follow along. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.